talking about lots of things. We're talking about dialysis, we're talking about transplants, and what it's been like for my family.
My dad is hilarious.
Notice how we decorate your tree.
No, Dad, come on. And he's incredibly sensitive. He's like a gentle giant.
Marriage has got its ups and downs, and we've had some ups and downs, but I think we always really were committed to the process, and we always really enjoyed each other's company and really cared about each other. And that's why we stayed together, because we never got bored. I never got bored. He never bores me. He's always coming up with something new.
You know, my dad's really complicated. He is, he's intensely private. I think that's a lot of why he didn't want to tell people what he was going through.
I just feel that my dad and I just have this really special connection where I pretty much just know where he's going through and know what he's going through, because it is tough. I mean, he's a guy and we're three women, so I think that he needs an advocate sometimes. So I try to help him out sometimes with certain things. And he cares so much about other people. I mean, he spent his entire life being basically a social worker, and that's obviously the career path I took. So it was very impressionable for me.
You know, and he can also be really difficult.
When I was in my 20s, I was in the hospital, and at that point it was a soccer accident, and I was discovered that I had a blockage in my vena cava. And it was at that point that I knew that in the future it would cause problems for the blood flow out of my kidney. So over the course of the years, my kidneys slowly deteriorated because of that problem.
We knew at some point he would go on dialysis, but it seemed very far away, and I always had the hope that it wouldn't happen. I just, had some sort of false optimism that something would be found to cure it before it happened.
He's right now in need of a kidney, and he just recently became eligible to receive a kidney.
The problem with my vena cava caused my kidneys to deteriorate gradually over time. I tried to prolong my health as much as possible. I exercised, I did yoga, I did watch what I ate, I didn't smoke, I drank in moderation, and tried to prolong my kidneys as long as possible. But at age 62, they finally gave out completely, and I had to go on dialysis. So the dialysis I do is called peritoneal dialysis, and it involves having a catheter in my peritoneum, which is basically the cavity that surrounds your stomach and your organs. And at night, the machine pumps fluid into the peritoneal cavity 4 times. It dwells there for a period of time. Due to the difference in pressure between that fluid and the outside, it draws toxins out of my body, and then the fluid is emptied from my body. And I do that, it goes through 4 cycles a night. It takes about 8 hours.
So every night.
And turn on porn movies. So there you go.
I probably miss just seeing him happy. It's really hard to watch someone that was so happy and so positive and upbeat really not be able to find that happiness, because he's so affected by the illness and all of the side effects. And we still laugh and joke around, obviously, but it's not, I know it's because he's trying to make himself be happy. It's not because he really feels happy all the time. The whole process has just been long and drawn out over the past year. We've gone through his twin brother that tried to donate, but he really wasn't a viable option.
I had an identical twin brother who I was very hopeful that he could donate, because if he could have, it would have been a tremendous match, obviously. I would not have had to take many immunosuppressant drugs, and it was a very drawn-out process. And I think he was very ambivalent about doing it. I think he had some mental health issues of his own, and it was a very, very difficult process, and a lot of emotional exchanges between us. He became very irritable, very difficult. He tried to extort money from me, and it was just a horrible process that dragged out for a year, and ended unsuccessfully anyways.
When we first got our first donor, it was exciting, and we were really optimistic, and we thought this was going to be the one, that he was going to get a kidney transplant and be okay, and that everything was going to be fine, and that he would not have to suffer on dialysis anymore. But each time that someone falls through, because there's been 6 people that have fallen through, it's like you lose hope.
Well, being a lifelong hypochondriac, did I want to give a kidney? No. Would I have given a kidney? Absolutely. I can't give one because I have my own health problems.
I, in time, kind of like slowly came to the decision that I didn't want my dad to suffer anymore, and that I really wanted to do this for him and to give him a better life.
I'm filming Allie and Dad. Now Dad said he wanted to go on camera. He had a few things to say about today. Okay.
He just doesn't want to cry on camera.
No.
Okay, so this was a momentous day and Dad's speaking about it.
I'm not sure I'm prepared to speak about it right now.
You aren't? Okay.
You gotta just jump.
No, I can't do it right now.
I think Allie and Dad should speak about it.
You can do it.
He's just so excited.
It'll never be perfect.
No.
I can't do it right now.
Yeah, you can.
It won't be coherent on the
That's
You
okay.
don't have to be coherent, Dad. Let
It's
go
not.
of control.
Yeah.
It's about control. It's about learning to say what I have to say. I won't be able to say it all right now.
You can do it.
You can.
Do you want to say it at another time?
Yeah.
I'm happy for my dad, and then I also feel sensitive that it might make other people in my life, like my boyfriend or, my sister or my mom, feel hesitant about me giving because they're worried about my health.
She loves to care for people. And, I think that, I don't know, I'm just very, very lucky to have her in my life.
So it's like I feel overly joyed that I can provide this gift. And it's been a roller coaster because at first I would say I was more scared. Like a month ago when I started going through all these tests, I was really scared. But now I feel determined to do this, and that this is like kind of why I was put here, is to do this. And it's just given me a bigger sense of purpose. But I do feel sensitive to other people's feelings. And I'm also scared too, because obviously, there are risks involved, and I do feel a little bit scared.
Allie and I have always been very close. What she wants to do in terms of possibly donating to me is an extraordinary act, and it's actually so extraordinary. I don't even know if I really haven't absorbed it, to be frank with you.
It's hard. Like, you have all these emotions about your family, because it's not like you just came together for this health crisis. You've had this family for years. I'm 30 years old. We've been with each other for a long time. And there's all these other things that overlay the kidney, and your relationship stretched back forever. But fundamentally, like, it's just, it's devastating. I wish I could do it. I wish I could give a kidney, and so that my sister wouldn't have to do it, and my mom wouldn't have to worry about it. And
there are certain cases where you get infections, or, that you get hernia. Those are like the lesser ones. And then obviously sometimes you do end up having your own kidney failure and needing to go on dialysis. And then obviously, the most of the risks though are around childbirth, and there's like a small chance that women that give birth to babies while they're pregnant, that they have toxemia. And that's something that they've just found within the past 5 years. And that's what the doctors down there have really been reminding me of, or trying to tell me to see, what my basic reaction is.
she's my best friend. And the thought of losing my dad and my sister is pretty much the worst thing I can possibly think of. But I realize it's not about me. Like, it's not my kidney to give. I don't need the kidney. And to make it about myself would just be a horribly selfish act. So, fundamentally, my role is to support them in whatever they decide to do.
He would be lying, you know, he says like I'd be lying if I wasn't scared. You know, I don't want anything to happen to you. I want to have kids and have a family, and I don't want anything to happen to you. But recently he's felt more like, I've heard him say like, if something were to happen to you, like I would have been so proud of you. So that, I don't think anything's gonna happen to me, but you know, I don't want to have lost him and have him pass away and have not been able to do anything. I want to do everything I can. Even the doctors frequently tell me, would you give him this kidney if he could only get 6 more months of life? And that question is just so dumb, because of course I would. I want him to be there through all of my life. I've barely even lived my life yet. I'm only 26.
It's gradually gotten worse. I think my energy level is reduced. I have more fatigue. I have difficulty sleeping. I also have problems with my skin. It's caused a lot of skin problems. So I have, a lot of itchy skin, happens all the time, and it's just really annoying, really difficult. It's actually, of the issues that are involved in dialysis, probably the most difficult on a quality of life, day-to-day basis is the itchy skin.
It's amazing what you get accustomed to as normal. You know, like you get accustomed to the fact that your dad has to go upstairs every night at 10:30 and hook into a machine and be tied to it for the rest of the night and be uncomfortable and be, itchy, and he can't sleep, and your mom's stressed out all the time, and, she's like planting rose bushes and color coordinating her closet to like keep it together, and your sister's like baking every fucking thing she can bake under the sun, and it's like, you get used to that because what are you gonna do? You make it normal, but it's not normal. I think it's really a lot of strain. I think it's incredibly difficult for my mom to watch my dad go through this. And I think that she, in a lot of ways, she's like a real fixer and wants to make the situation better, and she can't.
I think it's made me sad, I mean, he's really a trooper, and he really tries to get through this without burdening other people with the way he feels. But it's very difficult to see somebody who, was very physically active and very physically strong, really have to go through these sort of deterioration and weakness that this has caused.
When my mom didn't qualify, and it wasn't about her qualifying or not, it was just how upset she was, and her calling me crying when I was at work and telling me that she felt like she failed. It was just so heart-wrenching that I had to go home from work and lie in bed and cry for the rest of the day.
I think it's put more tension on our relationship, more pressure, because I'm very sensitive to the fact that she feels upset about what I'm going through, and there's not much she can do. So I think in some ways it's very difficult for her to deal with, and there's nothing I can do about it particularly. And so, one way she handles it is by distancing herself a little bit as well. So it's probably caused a little more distance, although I know the distance is about her being upset. It's not because she doesn't care about me.
It's very hurtful when you can't do anything. And I guess I never realized that, you can't be on dialysis forever. It's a death sentence. So, I think, well, if he doesn't get a kidney, he's going to die. And he is dying, and that's what's happening to him.
This situation is really awful, but it's not like we sit around and cry every day. We also laugh a lot, and we try to find things in it that are positive.
Dialysis, there's not really a fallback position. It's like when you get a transplant, if a transplant doesn't work, you can go back to dialysis, at least for a time period. On dialysis, if it goes wrong, there's no fallback position. So it sort of has to work. And so there's an underlying tension there all the time, and kind of anxiety that it has to work, and you're feeling like vulnerable. I have very, very mixed feelings, and I still have mixed feelings about it. I mean, on the one hand, she's a tremendous physical match for me, and it's an enormous opportunity for me to feel better. On the other hand, I'd be devastated if, in helping me, she somehow jeopardized her own health. So I'm very conflicted about it, and I'm still conflicted about it. And to be frankly, I still haven't made a decision about whether I'll accept her if she is a donor. And I don't have to because she hasn't been accepted yet either. So I'm still thinking about it.
I feel very nervous about Ali being a donor, you know, because it is major surgery, and I would have preferred, you know, one of our friends who was in their 40s or 50s to have stepped forward and done it, because they've already manifested a lot of the things they're going to have, and they may have had children if they had children, or even some of our relatives were in that situation, some of relatives on Chris's side. But, you know, none of them did step forward, and I feel, you know, that I'm very proud of Ali for stepping forward, and but I'm very nervous about her doing it. And then, you know, I'm sort of torn because I'm very nervous about her doing it, but I know that she'll give Chris, you know, his life back, and they have a wonderful match. You know, she has 5 of the 6 things that are needed, analgens, I think they're called, and I forget what the word is, but she has those, and she has the same blood type, so, you know, she's really a good match. She has a very good chance of accepting her kidney and feeling healthy with it, because, you know, I only had 2 when I was going to be a donor, and I'm O positive. So I would probably have given him more trouble in his body. And he would have said that's probably true too, because you are trouble.
I had no idea it would be so complicated, so time consuming, so long, and so few people would qualify. That was very surprising for me. I think I'll feel a lot better. I think I'll feel better. I'll have more energy. I'll have more stamina. I'll be able to travel, because I know for both my family, my wife and the rest of my family, travel is really important, and going to our other home in the Caribbean is really important. Hopefully I'll be able to do that. So
I think what scares me the most about losing Dad is, you know, if you lose your best friend and somebody who you really, you know, come home and talk to every night, and, you know, laugh a lot with, and just somebody who you talk to. And so if I lost my best friend in the whole world, it's a very difficult thought.
What number glass of wine is that?
This is number 3, actually, and maybe there'll be a number 4, because as you know, I never drink. So this is the only thing I have. Just fuck it, right?
Yeah. Do you think you'll sleep well tonight?
I don't give a shit. Right now, I don't care about anything. All I care about is that you get through this operation safely, and that Dad gets through it.
I expected more people to volunteer to be kidney donors than really did. And, you know, we talk about how hard it was for Dad, and, you know, go out to dinner with our friends. And the response was, you know, of course they feel bad, and I do understand that. But, you know, very few of them responded with, oh, you know, can I find out about how to be a donor? You know, 1 or 2 did, and then they didn't follow through.
I don't know. I don't know what happens if we don't get our happy ending. I mean, I guess we just get used to whatever we're given.
I know, you know, it's just, I just hope that this operation, that's like one thing I pray about.
Yeah.
You know, I just hope that this operation brings the peace to you that you want. And if it doesn't, I can't.
No. I have to find my own peace, Ellie.
If you have this operation and you're still miserable, I don't know how I can deal with that.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna. I have to find my own peace, you know.
Because if you're not okay after I do this, I'm not gonna be okay.
Yeah.
I'm just not.
I can't guarantee where I'm gonna be, but whatever
I
I
don't
am.
want you to feel like it's conditional and be giving you this, but I can't go through this. And then have you just not be happy or anything, or complain or be sick.
Well, I know you felt really bad about this, Chris, right?
Yep.
You feel that you were tremendous stress on everybody, and you created this.
Yep. And I'm trying to cope with it as best as I can. I've tried, but it's not great, you know. I've tried to handle as best as I can, you know, try to be normal, but it's just not normal, you know. I tried as hard as I can, you know. Maybe I should try. Maybe I'm trying. But I've tried to cope with various consequences of this, and tried to lead a normal life. I tried to go the back way, you know. Tried to exercise. I've tried to you know, go out, see people. You know, try to.
I think you've done a very good job.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes, you
looking
have.
For a merit badge.
No, you're miserable.
But I'm trying, you know.
You're miserable,
Yeah.
and it's
I'm
not.
not miserable.
You are.
I don't know.
You are miserable. Nothing that makes you happy usually makes you happy anymore.
It doesn't make me totally happy, but I'm, you know.
I mean, you cope, but you're
Yeah.
not. You're miserable.
Allie, now you're home. What does it feel like? Is it good to be home? Oh, it is. Do you feel happy that you gave a kidney to Dad?
Yes, I feel very happy.
Do you?
Yes.
And you miss your kidney just a little bit, right?
I miss my kidney. No, I'm just kidding. I don't miss my kidney.
You must feel so very proud of yourself, though. Yeah,
I do, and I feel glad to have helped Dad.
yeah.
And Dad's really feeling better.
He is, isn't he? And your kidney's working like a charm.
I want a kidney, right? And you want a husband or a boyfriend,
I
right?
want a boyfriend.
Sally.
Happy kidney. Happy kidney. Happy kidney.
You can live a very healthy life. Those left with one kidney, their kidney expands and takes over the function of the other kidney and to 80 or 90, even 100% of the original functioning. You can live a very healthy life the rest of your life. So I just hope people can get educated and realize it's a tremendous gift that people have the potential to give to others without unduly risking themselves.